Young people occupying Burnham Avenue here in Rosebank as they stage that demonstration against job losses within the minerals and steel sector. So we see the ANC Youth League leading this demonstration here, joined by the National Union of Mineworkers in taking this demonstration to the Minerals Council, really taking issue with the Section 189 processes that they say have been abused by the employer, and calling on the Minerals Council to ensure that there are alternatives to jobs in terms of these retrenchments that have been enforced in the sector. We know very well that young people bear the brunt of job losses in terms of the creation of jobs or the lack of jobs in the country. As per the quarterly labor force survey, over 40% of young people unemployed, and the young people here are saying that these retrenchments tend to make matters worse. I'm going to bring the Treasurer General of the ANC Youth League into the conversation with us this afternoon, Zwelo Masilela, who'll just give us a sense of why we find you guys here, what are you hoping to achieve, and really when you look at it, what are the issues with the retrenchments or the implementation of this Section 189 by the employers. Welcome to the SABC.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, and good afternoon to the viewers at home. We're here simply because many workers are potentially going to lose their jobs, and which will affect many thousands and thousands of families at home, because we know that in South Africa, a person, when they are employed, they are feeding an average of 7 to 10 people. Now, if you lose one job, it's equivalent to bringing about poverty to 7 to 10 people in this country. So thousands and thousands of people will be affected by these massive retrenchments by the employers and the mining companies. Now, we're saying, we're here at the Mineral Resources Council to say they must stop these retrenchments, because we believe that these retrenchments are not genuine, and because there are many other things and options to avoid these retrenchments, because we are aware that mining companies are retrenching mine workers so that they employ subcontractors and people whom are employed through labor brokers, so that they employ cheap labor and not be able to pay people according to the minimum living wage.
We often hear the employers coming through to say they too are struggling here in navigating an uncertain economy, and that retrenchments would tend to be the last resort. How do they actually move in a way that they protect the jobs but at the same time remain sustainable?
No, it's not true that they are under financial difficulties, such that the only option they have is these retrenchments. We are confident that for as long as they continue to give contracts to some of the work that should be done by these employees that they are retrenching, for as long they continue to employ labor brokers and pay them, we believe that all of those monies combined are sufficient enough to continue servicing the salary bill of these workers as it is now. So it is not an honest issue in the country, because they can't complain about energy availability issue. We've not had a load shedding for over 300 days, so they can't complain about instability in the economy, because almost all of the issues they were raising have been resolved, and we believe that this is a deliberate effort by employers to maximize the profit, because these labor brokers, they are paying people cheap labor, and these subcontractors are paying some business people who employ people at a very cheap labor, to a point even some of those people who are employed, they are non-South African, because the mining companies have no contract with the workers who are subcontracted, but with the company that is subcontracting them, and as a result there is massive exploitation in that process. Hence they are for retrenchment, because when these workers are within the mining companies, they are within their rights to have all the labor laws in this country protecting them. And when they are under subcontractors and labor brokers, they are not protected by the labor laws of this country, because those companies are the ones that are in contracts with the mining companies. So that is the challenge here. There's no issue of resources not being available, but it's capitalists maximizing profit.
And just before we let you go, Zwelo, we often hear of the tripartite within this sector. This would be organized labor, this would be the business, organized business, and government. Where do we place government where this issue of job security is concerned? Are you going to be taking a similar demonstration to Minister Gwede Mantashe?
No. We're saying here at Mineral Resources Council, all of these companies are umbrellaed here they've umbrellaed themselves under this council, and we're saying this council can resolve the issues of retrenchments. And we're saying the only intervention we're seeking from government is to increase the tax base for these companies. We're saying there must be increase on tax on these mining companies because they are doing a lot of tax evasion and running away from being taxed in this country. And on the top of that, they continue to exploit and retrench our people. So we're saying the only intervention we're seeking from government is to increase tax at this point.
Zwelo, thank you very much for your time. Zwelo Masilela coming through from the ANC Youth League as the Treasurer General, and just making it clear here that they want an end to the losses of jobs through retrenchments, and even saying that they even are making a plea to government here. We'll see them in Mineral Council in terms of how it responds here, but we see them this afternoon joined by the National Union of Mineworkers. I'm Katlego, Legodi for SABC News in Rosebank.